Oh, this is your Intel girl from the spirit world. Well, I'm going to be talking about these popular movies that have been popular for the past 20 years, including this new one, the Final Destination movies. Now, when they started out, they had several movies about teenagers going through stuff like Soul Survivors. I watched all the other teenage, like Urban Legend. Those other movies I watched. But one movie I saw years back that I was not interested at all is Final Destination, where it's about these series of people that are trying to escape death, and they get premonitions of the death, and they try to stop it. And then every movie from Final Destination 1 all the way to the one that came out now, The Bloodline, there's a lot of killing, a lot of deaths. And so the main goal is to escape death. Now, The Bloodline came out, this one recently. And of course, I was very familiar with them. They had no desire to see people die and try and cheat death. Well, as I, start getting to remembrance on some of the, scenes and some of the things that they talked about in Final Destination, and some people have, did some breakdowns on them. And the Lord started telling me and started revealing to me that that was never the spirit of death in these movies. It's actually destructive forces and spirits grouped together to cause premature death. Now, it's appointed for a man to die, but you're not supposed to die before your time. And all these people talking about they cheating, no, that's not how death operates. There is such a spirit as that, but it does not operate like that, where you trying to cheat and get away from it. And so they think that it's the antagonist, and they're the protagonist. The thing is, I learned a lot just the clips and some from the things that happened to people over the years, and how this one is kind of like a precursor to the other one. And the last Final Destination was actually the precursor of the first one, and moving on with the plane crash and everything, Final Destination 5. Yeah, now I'm familiar with them. I just had no desire to see people dying and getting killed horrifically and graphically. And that's the key. I don't know why people be fascinated with that. But the Bloodline, apparently, the last one, was supposed to supposedly stop, from being in the Bloodline. But apparently, it got released in the Bloodline when one particular individual died, even though they had lived prior to. I'm not going through all that. But anyway, what the Lord revealed to me about the Final Destination movies is all the people that had these called Premonitions, they had the spirit of soothsayer. They had a soothsayer spirit. Soothsayers are ones that see into the future, but they don't see the future that God has for us. They don't see the, the good stuff and the great stuff and the expected end, as God said. That's why it's like they would see it and then try to stop it. No. This gift is a cursed gift. It is a gift of sight, just like us in the church, not just in the church, but in ministry itself. And in churches that are called to do all of this, you have seers. You have seers in the Bible. Seers see everything. They see the good, the bad, and the ugly. They see angels and demons. They don't just see the bad stuff all the time. That's why you got to check and see where's your source of seeing come from. Well, the soothsayer is a type of sight, a foresight. They see stuff in the future. And every person, they call them visionaries in these TikTok videos. They were not visionaries. They were soothsayers. They had the gift. They could have had the gift of true sight that God gives us, to see, in realms, see ahead of time. That's a prophetic gift. But theirs was twisted and distorted. A lot of movies have this. These are gifted people. They just be distorted. Like Insidious, they had gifts, but their gifts were distorted and cursed because all they saw was the demonic realms, and the demonic realms coming after them. Well, there are destructive spirits and forces. They're what they call destiny destroyers. Those are the ones that abort your assignment through death, destruction, however many means necessary. And a lot of these videos and movies in Final Destination was about these destructive forces that come against you, and they want to take you out before your time. And instead of them trying to stop it, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, you can't stop premature death with your hands and stuff like that, with your body and stuff. You have to analyze every aspect of your life and see what's trying to destroy you, what's trying to hinder you, block you, or take you out before your time. And that could be more than just accidents. And see, there's such things as accidental demons. Let me just go there. There are accidental demons where you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And if you have had experience where the Lord, you had an unction in your spirit, this is not a day to drive drive on that freeway. This is not the day to get on that boat. This is not the day to get on this plane. This is not the day to get on this ride. That be God warning you that something bad about to go down. Sometimes we can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, not directed by the Lord. That can happen with premature death. Another one is just sickness and disease. It's not just accidents, because all these movies, it was an accident. It was something that happened. You know, a log fell off a train. You know, somebody, they burned up in a tanning salon. No, they don't always work like that. It can be sickness, disease. It can be generational curses. And when I saw foundation of bloodline, it can be in the bloodline. Y'all dying before your time. And see, as people of God and believers, you got to pray to God and say, where is this coming from? Because you can shut it down. Because that's cursed. You're not supposed to die before your time. God promises a long life. Abundant life. We supposed to live some years. You know, things like that. But there's such thing as destructive forces that can cause premature death. There's things that can cause you to die before your time. And there's no such thing as cheating death. They were trying all they can and then something would happen. No. All they saw was one aspect of what was going to happen. But they didn't see the full picture. They didn't see the spirits behind it. They didn't see the forces behind it. You know, they didn't see, you know, things in their life. They might not supposed to been doing this. They might not supposed to got on that plane. They might not got back on that ride. You know, and trying to stop other people from dying. It don't work like that. No. Those who see, gonna see and give warning. Now, they gave warning, but all they showed was the destructive part. They didn't show that you might stop this, you might prevent this, but this is still going to happen until all those demonic forces are dealt with. You know, all the accidental, you know, tragedies that occur. And sometimes it's the will of man and the ways of man that can cause destruction as well. We've had wars, we've had things that happen, nuclear disasters like Chernobyl and stuff. There's a lot of things that can occur. But it's not just one Grim Reaper trying to get rid of you. That's not how it operates. But there's our forces in the realms, demonic realms. And there's forces in the earth. Man himself, the will of man. His unbridled will can cause destruction. You know, as I watched Mission Impossible 8, yes, I saw all 8 of them. Wonderful. Man's choices can cause stuff. Man's choices can cause destruction, you know, on his own. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We can destroy ourselves. So it could be sabotage and destruction of our own. But there's such thing as destiny destroyers that will destroy you before your time. That's my intel on those Final Destination movies. And also, it's the other thing about these movies, it's supposed to desensitize you on death and put you in the fear of death. That is the norm. This is not the norm for people to die before their time. This is not the norm. Not the norm. There's a lot going on in the world. Many people are dying. But that's not the will of God for us to die before our time. It's not His will for us to be sick or destroyed before our time, before we fulfill what He had for us in the earth. And it's trying to desensitize you from all the tragedy that it's the norm. It's not the norm. God, Jesus came that we may have life and abundance. That includes long life. So, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. And so, if you have any comments, questions, reach out to me. Make sure you subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.